What makes you, you? Is it the fact that you have 2 arms and 2 legs, a head, or any of the other outward appearances that make a person a person? In reality, a person is much more than the sum of its parts. After all, losing an arm or leg does not make you less you. What really makes us what we are is the total of our life experiences, and how we react to those experiences. To make it as basic as possible, the brain works on an electrochemical stimulus that triggers certain areas of the brain to provide a response, either physical or emotional. It is a fascinating thing to study. If you're into that kind of thing, I'm sure you can find volumes of information in the library or online. For this book, though, focus on the fact that we are discussing electrochemical stimulus, which means electrical energy. Much like a computer hard drive, our life experiences are written on the gray matter of our brain in this method. Like a computer hard drive, our memories are reliant on the data that is put in them. When I attended computer courses in college, many moons ago, I learned that phrase called GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. And this pretty much holds true to everything we learn in life. It is important to us that, from time to time, we sort through the file cabinet of our memories and toss out everything that is garbage. Taking this information we know to be true, we can summarize that the individual person lives in the human brain, and the flesh is merely an input-output device to interact with the world around the person. We must also understand our perceptions of what is real or unreal determine our interactions with the world. Example: if we consume large amounts of alcohol, it impairs our abilities to interact with speech, walking, intimate relations, and balance, just to name a few things. Likewise, if the human body is out of balance, for whatever reason, this can cause both psychological and physical problems, with possibilities ranging from mental illness in the psychological to cancers and ulcers and more in the physical. Balance is crucial in all matters, and we will look more at this in latter chapters, but it suffices to say a person is a complex set of systems that must function in unison, and if this system becomes unbalanced, the person can no longer function properly. This system comprises 1. Flesh, 2. Spirit, and 3. Influencers. To remove any single system will cause a dysfunctional person. Likewise, to focus on one area to the exclusion of the other 2 will disrupt the entire system, rendering it nearly useless. I will go into depth on these 3 in later chapters. Back to our original premise. Who are you and what defines you as you? Electrochemical stimulus creates an electrical energy, rather it draws a pre-existing energy into our existence. We know this is true because we know the laws of energy, which states, energy cannot be created or destroyed, but only be changed from one form into another, or transferred from one object to another. Amazingly, these laws have their basis in Scripture, as I will show you later. But for our purpose, you need to understand what makes you the person you are as pure energy. You want proof of this, you say? Okay. This is easy. In medical science, they declare a person dead when all brain activity, which is electrical, ceases. While your flesh still exists, you are no longer there, since all brain activity has ceased. Now do you see what truly makes you who you are? Is there life after death? Well, science has given you that answer. Since we know, energy cannot be destroyed but can only change form. Once the human body is discarded, those life experiences are released, having been stored in living energy, and seek another object to attach to. This is the spirit phase. This is the point where how an individual lived their mortal life becomes vitally important, because energy comes in 3 forms: 1. Positively charged, 2. Neutrally charged, and 3. Negatively charged. This is something that needs to be understood when talking about God and spirit. The Bible tells us that God is spirit and must be worshipped in spirit and in truth. It also tells us that God is not a man that he should lie. If a religion tells you that God is a man, or that you can enter God's kingdom as a man, then that religion is false. The difference between matter and energy is that energy is produced from matter yet has no mass and has the capacity to do work, while matter is the physical stuff in the universe. Why the Bible tells us that when Moses asked God what his name was, God replied, "I am that I am, and I will be what I will be." The Bible also tells us that God is love and love is the creative force in the universe. Colossians chapter 1 verses 16 to 20 King James Version. KJV. 16 For by him were all things created, that are in heaven, and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones, or dominions, or principalities, or powers. All things were created by him, and for him. 17 And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Now science would have you believe that the Big Bang created the universe, but in order for this to be true, that energy would have had to exist prior to the Big Bang, because we know energy cannot be created or destroyed, it would have had to have existed first. I know I have given you a lot to think about, but to understand something you must first have a point of reference.